Hi everyone, I'm CaliKim. Welcome to my garden. We all want to grow the biggest and best peppers we've ever grown, but maybe you're growing on a patio or a balcony and don't have a lot of space. Well, today I'm going to show you how to grow your biggest and best peppers ever in a 5-gallon container, no matter how much little space you have, so you can have lots of beautiful peppers to eat this summer. First, to grow your biggest and best peppers ever, you'll want to know a few pepper basics. They are a warm weather loving vegetable and they really thrive in temperatures between 70 and 95 degrees. So grow them in the summer and they're going to absolutely love that summer heat. Now, if you're in a northern climate where you don't have real warm temperatures in the summer, you may want to grow them in a greenhouse so you get the biggest and best peppers you've ever grown. You can start them from seed indoors about 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. I've got a video on how to do just that. Or if you're running out of time at this point in the season, you can always grab transplants from the garden center, but you'll definitely get a better variety of colorful, beautiful peppers if you grow them from seed. And who doesn't want that, right? We all do. Next, you want to choose the right container for your peppers. Now, since peppers are smaller plants than, say, this tomato here, they're very well suited to growing in a 5-gallon container. Plus, a 5-gallon container is nice and compact. I love just stepping outside my back door, picking a few colorful peppers to include in my recipes. However, do not grow them in this, a 5-gallon bucket. Hear that? It's plastic, it doesn't breathe. Your plants literally boil inside the pot, especially in the warm summertime. It cracks. It doesn't last long, and what happens in a hard-sided container like this is the roots wrap around, get root bound, and they can't take up the water and the nutrients, and your peppers just won't grow to their fullest potential. So ditch the 5-gallon bucket. Instead, grow them in a fabric container like this 5-gallon Smart Pot. It's aerated, the plant's roots can breathe. They actually do something in a fabric Smart Pot called air pruning, where instead of getting root bound, they form a nice fibrous mass. They can still take up plenty of water and nutrients. You can grow more peppers in a smaller space in fabric containers. You can definitely grow them to their fullest potential. And the fabric is very durable and will last you for years. Next, let's talk soil. You want to use a well-draining soil mix that's tailored for growing in containers. Now here I'm going to be using my cheap, easy DIY potting mix. There's a link in the video description so you know exactly what type of potting mix to use. And I'm going to fold over my Smart Pot to make it easier to fill with soil. You don't want to use just soil from your garden. It's just too compact, won't give your plants the oxygen that it needs to breathe, and just kind of gets bogged down in your containers. So this mix has a good blend of compost, coco coir, vermiculite, which really helps it be well draining. Fold up the sides as we fill the container. Get in there and get your hands dirty. Sides up, fill it all the way to the top. If you need some 5-gallon containers, come in a 3-pack, blue, orange, and purple, or you can get some blacks. You know what I'm adding next. Vermistera worm castings, good micronutrients, lots of good beneficial bacteria in that. Then of course a sprinkle of a good balanced organic fertilizer. Lots of plant food will help your peppers grow to their fullest potential. Let's get our peppers planted in our 5-gallon, and the key here is choosing tried and tested varieties that are going to grow your biggest and best peppers yet. My very favorite is the California Wonder Pepper. This is an absolutely gorgeous pepper. It's a large pepper, it's thick-walled. Here I've got some transplants in a little 1-gallon that I'm going to pull out. The gorgeous red pepper, and it's really fun to plant lots of different colors of peppers and just grow the rainbow. It's super easy to plant. Just pop them here down in a planting hole. They can be planted very close together. So we actually have room here in our 5-gallon to plant a second one. And for that, I'm going with the Purple Beauty. Can't beat a purple pepper, absolutely gorgeous. They like to be planted close together. And the reason for this is peppers are prone to something called sun scald in hot weather. When you plant them about a foot or so apart, they kind of shade each other. So the leaves actually shade the peppers as they grow, preventing sun scald and just helping your pepper plants be happy and healthy. Wow, these look great. I'm envisioning now red peppers, purple peppers, all kinds of peppers to grill and eat up this summer. Since we're going to be growing a lot of peppers in this pot here, we need to provide them with some support. Now, even though peppers are smaller plants, their stems are rather fragile, and when they're loaded down with peppers, the stems tend to break. A small little tomato cage is really an easy way to do it. Feed the peppers up the cage as they grow. They're readily available at most garden centers and really do provide them with adequate support. Now let's talk watering and feeding your peppers. Now container plants are a whole different animal than plants in your in-ground garden. They dry out quicker, they need feeding more often so that we can grow a lot of peppers. So we'll get them off to a good start by giving them a couple of really good organic water-soluble fertilizers. The first one being fish fertilizer, which is high in nitrogen. Now nitrogen is what's going to promote green leafy growth, which is exactly what you want, especially when you're first planting your peppers. But we're also going to include some of the Vermistera Vitality. This is worm castings in liquid form. The nutrients are immediately available to your plant. So we've got our quick release nutrients here in our watering can, our slow release nutrients, which will feed our plants over a couple of months period. With containers, you really do want to feed them every 2 weeks for maximum growth potential. And make sure you check watering frequently. You want peppers to be moist, but not waterlogged. We're going to water our 5-gallon container here until the water runs out bottom. And you can see here I'm using a little drip tray, which is really nice on a deck or a patio to catch all those drips so you don't flood out your neighbors down below. Both these beautiful varieties, as well as 3 others, are in my pepper seed collection, which you can grab over on our website. Now I'm going to share with you my secret ingredient for getting lots and lots of peppers. Epsom salt. This is Monterey Lawn and Garden Epsom salt. And I add about 4 tablespoons to 1 gallon of water and drench my plants at the time I plant. And what this does, it's a great source of magnesium. Now plants need magnesium in order to produce chlorophyll. When you see super green, lush, leafy growth on your plants, it just looks so pretty. But more importantly than that, it helps produce flowers and fruit. So you want to water and drench them with Epsom salt at the time of planting and when they start to fruit, maybe a month or so later, to give you lots and lots of peppers. Epsom salt or magnesium is absorbed through the roots as well as through the leaves. So you can do a foliar feeding, a root drench, and you will be amazed at how this helps you grow the biggest and best peppers you've ever grown. Couple other little watering tips. Super important that you don't let your plants dry completely out. So do make sure you do the little finger test. Right now I just watered so it's nice and moist. But when the top of the soil starts to look a light brown color, just put your finger in the soil, pull up a little bit. If it's dry, it means you need to water your plant. But once you've watered and it's drained through to your drip tray, just take your 5-gallon container off your drip tray. Once all the water has absorbed into your plant, remove your smart pot and just take your drip tray, and I'm going to pour it into my tomato plant here. It'll get a nice little dose of fertilizer and water there too, because you really don't want to leave your plants sit in water because you don't want the roots to rot. And I'll just pop my 5-gallon back in my tray and we are good to go. If you like our channel, please subscribe. We would really appreciate it. And I'm really excited for you to grow your biggest and best peppers ever this year in a 5-gallon container. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time in the garden.